everyone, welcome to Smart Course, the go-to place for orientative information and strategy for special needs and learning disorders, especially ADHD. We will soon be sharing the knowledge of world-leading experts in the field during our ADHD in Middle School Summit in August. Today, we'll be covering ways that ADHD can affect your preteen and sharing advice on repairing and rebuilding healthy relationships with middle schoolers affected by ADHD. ADHD can lead to feelings of resentment and rejection in a relationship, but it doesn't have to. It is important to understand the challenges children face in middle school and the underlying causes of their emotional struggle. With understanding and patience, parents can make better judgments to strengthen relationships with their children. Transitioning to middle school is both exciting and intimidating. So, what are some challenges that come with this transitional phase? Adjusting to a new environment can be especially difficult for kids with ADHD. In middle school, your preteens will be expanding their learning ability and exploring a new identity in an unfamiliar social environment. For the first time, they will be working with other students in lab, peer editing each other's writing, doing group projects, and speaking in front of the crowd. These increased social interaction can put stress on children with ADHD. On top of this, kids with an attention deficit are more likely to have trouble communicating and interacting with peers. Oftentimes, they tend to avoid considering unfamiliar opinion and behavior, which is one of the many factors that make it difficult for them to find a community of peers. For example, a middle schooler with ADHD may experience social exclusion. They may struggle with entering group conversation and as a result may stay stuck to a fringe of a friend group and begin to self-isolate. On the contrary, a difficulty connecting with peers may result in the child exhibiting extreme extraversion, showing off, or clowning around in attempts to attract attention. Regardless of the form of this coping behavior take on, they usually stem from trouble focusing during conversation that leads to difficulty building relationships and making friends. On top of all of this, time management and responsibility become an even bigger part of the picture. Stricter deadlines, more homework, and the introduction of more complex material and assignment each present new challenge. Coursework can pile up quickly, especially if your preteen has trouble focusing. They may procrastinate whenever possible and seems forgetful or be disorganized and easily distracted. As a result, they are more likely to be labeled as lazy or bad student by teachers or fellow classmates. Not being able to complete classwork or failing tests produce even more frustration and stress, which could lead to even more extreme coping behavior. Not only do children need to learn to bounce back from failure, but they also need to practice managing time between school, social life, play, and rest. For children with ADHD, trouble in middle school often starts with academic failure or social maladaptation. The resulting feeling of shame and rejection can permeate nearly every aspect of their life if left unchecked. 1 in 2 kids with ADHD repeat a grade by adolescence. On top of social and academic challenge, the unstoppable hormonal changes during puberty can add an additional burden to children and to parents. When these changes kick in, it's an emotional roller coaster for everyone. It is especially the case for kids with ADHD, as they are more prone to poor emotional regulation, which may result in even greater highs and lows. This emotional impulsivity can make it especially difficult for them to cope with frustration. It's tough on them and those around them. Hormonal changes usually cause an escalation of ADHD symptoms, leading to extreme mood swing, impulsivity, and trouble concentrating. In addition, during puberty, the need to fit in the social circle is intense. Kids with ADHD could be perceived as shy, while in some other cases they may come off aggressive. A significant 65% of kids with ADHD develop ODD, oppositional deviant disorder. With social rejection or failure, they may engage in emotional outbursts or even physical aggression. Both social and biological factors contribute to a sense of failure and low self-esteem in children with ADHD during middle school, which has negative impacts on their relationship with peers, teachers, parents, and families. Child-parent relationships are often tense. Parents might mistake their children's escalation of symptoms such as impulsion and anger outbursts as disrespectful. But responding to ADHD behavior with punishment or yelling will only worsen the relationship between the two. Apart from the relationship with parents, the relationship with peers can also be difficult. Navigating friendship with ADHD is challenging because they often face peer rejection or isolation due to ADHD symptoms. According to research, children with ADHD are less likely to get involved in after-school activities. They have a higher tendency to face bullying. They are also twice as likely to be picked on at school and have trouble getting along with other children. So, how can parents make relationship with ADHD work? What can parents do to help kids rebuild healthy relationships with peers? Follow these 5 simple steps and start building happy relationships. The first step is to remain calm and manage your emotion. Understand that your child's reactivity is chemically based. Their anger may come from embarrassment, fear, or being overwhelmed. When it comes to emotional control, start with yourself. Try not to take your child's tantrum personally and focus on managing your emotion before you respond. The second step is to accept failure and mistakes. Expect disorganization and chaos and empathize with your child. With ADHD, kids can be messy and forgetful. Instead of punishing or blaming the child, try to say something like this. It's hard to remember to unpack your lunchbox every day, isn't it? I sometimes forget too. It is also important to acknowledge and compliment your child's progress. The third step is to establish an organization system to reduce the child's stress. A system makes it easier for them to keep track of deadlines and tasks. Some examples are using a planner, color-coding files, sorting assignments, scheduling deadlines, and organizing their backpack. Another useful strategy is role play. Discuss with your child about potential social challenges like finding a friendly table at lunch or inviting a peer to work together, and role-play possible solutions in advance. Practicing the skill they need with peers is a good way for them to receive feedback and consequently improve their social skill. The fifth step and final tip is to get involved. Get to know your child's friends and involve him or her in activities with peers like birthday parties, picnic, or sports. Also, encourage them to find a mentor. It could be a trust coach, older cousin, or community member. More importantly, maintain ongoing communication with people from different areas of your child's life, such as teacher, school counselor, after-school activity leader, and healthcare provider. This way, you can keep updated on your child's social development in the community and the social setting. Lastly, be patient and hopeful. Children with ADHD need more time to adjust and adapt. It is possible for them to achieve academic success and to build healthy, long-lasting relationships. I hope our tips are helpful, and let us know if these tips work for you and your child in the comment section below. In our upcoming video, we are going to talk about useful tips and techniques for managing social anxiety with ADHD. For an expert-curated list of resources from our past summit and video, in particular the Chama Institute Parents Guide to ADHD, please visit the link in the description. To make sure you are as prepared as you can be, I want you to hit the notification bell below and join our newsletter because we'll be sharing much more resources on how to help your family cope better with ADHD, both at school and at home. The more people like, subscribe, click the bell, and comments, the more people will see this kind of content on YouTube. And we know some people could really use the help. If you haven't watched our previous series about music and ADHD, click the annotation on top right of the screen and watch those. We'll be sharing information about upcoming videos on this YouTube channel and exclusive deal in our newsletter. So again, hit the notification bell and subscribe button under the video and sign up for our newsletter using the link in the description to get early access and exclusive deal of our resource. For even more specific information, step-by-step guide, and access to professionals who can help you through this process, please sign up for our online courses and upcoming summit in August using the link in the description. We share tons of expert-vetted resources on parenting and education for differently abled kids, just like kids with ADHD. So make sure to check out our previous video and subscribe to our channel to receive notification for videos to come. As always, I appreciate you taking your time. Thank you for watching and see you soon.